Dear student, today we will discuss about the last topic of the family planning, and this basically involved various methods and procedure. On priority basis, we have the first one, that is the barrier methods. So barrier methods are one of the family planning methods used for prevention of pregnancy as well as certain sexually transmitted disease. So barrier method is means just certain barriers we basically apply, and those barriers are used both in case of male as well as the female candidate. And the main objective of the barrier method is just to protect the to prevent the chances of the pregnancy especially in order to prevent the chances of the pregnancy, and that is just to prevent the penetration of the sperm toward the upper part of the respective area, which is responsible for the fertilization. Same in case of the female candidate. So various barriers are to be used, and those barriers are mostly discussed as mentioned, as already mentioned here. So type of the barrier methods. So on priority we have the first one, that is the there is the condom methods. So there are basically two types of the condom, male as well as female condom. So it's most commonly, once we talk about the condom, so we just think that condom mostly available for the male candidate. But one thing to be clear, that condoms are basically available for both candidates, for both the male as well as the female candidate. So male condom is a thin rubber latex that is on over the eight penis. So obviously, in case of male candidates, yes, this condom is to be made of the thin rubber, and especially to be used during the sexual intercourse. It comes in individually packed, lubricated or unlubricated. So one thing keep in mind, that the male condom, which is most commonly a thin rubber, and this is mostly two types, which is the lubricated and next one is the unlubricated. So as for the lubricated one concern, so that's up to some extent have some, this is to some, this have some advantage, like a lubrication phenomena is basically there. So as a result, it basically provide a comfort and reduce the friction mechanism during the sexual intercourse. So male condom, which is basically used during the sexual intercourse, this is consist of the thin rubber or latex, and it's mostly two types, that is the lubricated and the next one, that is the unlubricated. So mostly people focus on the lubricated one, which basically reduce the friction during the intercourse, and the next one just have a compound mechanism. So as for the, and one thing keep in mind, same here, the female condom has recently become available. Yes, it is strong, soft, transparent sheet with no flexible rings, with two flexible rings at both ends. Yes, this is too much soft and transparent in nature, and two flexible rings are there. And the basic objective of such condom is also just to prevent the sexually transmitted disease. And so the main objective of this condom, that may be either the male or the female, just to prevent the chances of pregnancy, and also to prevent the chances of the sexually transmitted disease. So advantage point of view, one thing keep in mind, effective immediately, does not affect the breastfeeding mechanism, can be used as a backup to other methods. Yes, no method related to health risk, there is no health risk, no systemic side effect. Yes, if you use the oral contraceptive, so a lot of side effects are there. Yes, we are using the synthetic substances, but here these are natural substances, and I think yes, maybe it's a natural mechanism. And yes, of course, we don't choose anything orally, so this have no direct such as prominent effect on the systemic system. Widely available, yes, available on pharmacy and community shops. No prescription or medical assessment is necessary. Just a person can easily take it from a local pharmacy or local shop. It's inexpensive. Yes, of course. Enable men to take responsibility for family planning. Yes, this basically, yes, the person have the show its responsibility and prevent certain STDs. This is very important. The next one, that is spermicidal foaming tablet, gels and cream. So basically it's available in different form. That is the foaming tablets, jellies and also in cream form. So spermicidal basically, as the name indicates, this have the capability just to kill the sperms, and mostly have two ingredients. There is the sperm killing chemicals non-oxynol, which cause cell membrane to break, decreasing the movement of the sperms, and inert substances which hold the spermicide against the opening of the cell. So two substances. One is the active substances, which is the non-oxynol, and non-oxynol basically responsible just to kill the sperm and decrease its movements toward the upper part. Then the next thing, that is the inert substances, and the main objective of the next inert substance is just to hold it again with respect to the cervix region. So advantage point of view, uh, effective immediately, do not affect breastfeeding mechanism, can be used as backup to other methods. Yes, no method related with health risk, no systemic side effect as already mentioned, easy to use, increased wetness, yeah, increased lubrication during intercourse, no prescription or medical assessment necessary. So it's very important. The next one, which is too much important, especially, and which is the diaphragm. So a diaphragm is a dome-shaped lattice cup with flexible rims. It's designed to cover the cervical, so and should be inserted before sexual intercourse. So diaphragm, it's basically a dome shape, and it's also one of the barriers, mostly to be inserted before sexual intercourse, and it cover the cervical part. And yes, of course, generally used in conjugation with the spermicides. Yes, maybe used along with this, some spermicides, so for the better, for the best result, and this have the capability to prevent the chance of the pregnancy. But it's a dome shape, okay, lattice, and it's cover the cervical region, and to be used before sexual intercourse. Advantage point of view, effective immediately, doesn't affect breastfeeding mechanism, doesn't interfere with the intercourse. Yes, of course, too much important. No method related with health risk, and no systemic side effects are there. This is very important. So this was about the uh, diaphragm. The next one, that is the uh, intrauterine contraceptive device, IUD. Okay, so intrauterine IUDs is alternate name for the IUDs, are intrauterine contraceptive device, IUCD. This can be also used for this. So various names, synonyms are there. Uh, IUCDs basically in intrauterine contraceptive. These are basically device. This is mostly device is a small piece of flexible plastic with or without copper wound around it. Basically, these are especially designed substances and barrier which are basically used to prevent the chance of pregnancy, and mostly a small piece of flexible plastic, yes, with or without copper wound around it. Why we are using the copper? So copper basically increase the effectiveness. As copper have a direct effect on the sperms, and it basically decrease the effectiveness of these sperms. Modern ICDs are highly effective. That's why latest ICDs are available. ICDs are available, and it's too much effective. The ICDs is inserted into the uterus through the vagina and cervix by the trained family planners. So these ICDs are IUDs, intrauterine device or intrauterine contraceptive device. They are to be inserted into the uterus through the vagina and cervical part, and special trained person should be there. And yes, the main objective of this intrauterine device are IUCDs, basically to protect the chances of the pregnancy. So there are basically two types of the IUCDs. The first one, copper releasing. So copper releasing, basically it contains the copper substances, and that is the copper T380A. Okay, so this copper T380A are so many other available by a lot number of brand name, and this have the capability just to release the copper, and copper have a direct effect on these pumps and decrease the effectiveness of these pumps. And the next one, that is the progestin releasing uh, substances, that is the progestin and levonorm. So basically these substances is available by different trade names. So one substance have the ability just to release the copper, while another substance have the capability just to release the progestin. And progestin, again, just to share with you before, progestin is to be used as a contraceptive, and obviously it decreases the chances of the pregnancy. Mechanism of action, no single mechanism, okay, so but different ways. Interfere with the ability of sperms to pass through the uterine cavity. Yes, interference should be there. Interfere with the reproductive process before womb reach uterine cavity. Yes, this is called related to the copper. So yes, of course, this means that basically it interfere the phenomena, the chain process, which is basically responsible for the fertilization mechanism, and take the cervical mucus, that is due to the progestin. Change endometrium lining, again this is due to the endometrium, we have discussed into more detail. So basically these are the special design devices, and we got to be basically keep in that particular area. They are to be inserted into the uterus through vagina, and the main objective is to prevent the chance of pregnancy. Advantage: highly effective, effective immediately. Long-term methods: don't interfere with the intercourse, don't affect breastfeeding mechanism. Yes, of course, immediate return to fertility. Okay, okay. After follow-up visit, client needs to return to clinic only if a problem is there. No supply is needed by client. Relatively inexpensive. So again, not expensive. The next one, that is the vasectomy. So vasectomy, basically, yes, of course, there's a minor surgery is basically involved, both for the male and female candidate. So in male candidate is to be known as vasectomy, in female candidate is to be known as tubal occlusion or tubal ligation. So tubal occlusion, basically here a cleft should be there, okay, and we have to apply rings or clefts, especially on the particular part, and this prevent the sperm from reaching toward the ova. Yes, of course, highly effective immediately, permanent, doesn't affect breastfeeding mechanism, good for the client, no long-term side effects, but it's one of the irreversible approach. Vasectomy, again, is a permanent method of the contraception for men. It involves blocking both the vessel difference, prevent passage of the sperm toward the male to male urethra. So obviously this is also a permanent mechanism which is related to the male candidate. The next one, last one, that is the traditional family planning. So traditional family planning, we basically still, along with these oral contraceptive barriers, we still use these traditional methods. Yes, but the people should be educated properly and should be properly trained. And we have the lactational amenorrhea method, is the Lyme method. So lactational amenorrhea method is most commonly used during the breast sucking mechanism and breastfeeding mechanism. So if there is highly breastfeeding mechanism, so I think this is one of the good way just to protect the female candidate from the pregnancy. But one thing keep in mind, yes, it should be up to the age of 6 months, because above 6 months, or if the cycle phenomena is started, so I think this process is not the good one. Advantage: highly effective immediately, doesn't interfere with intercourse, no systemic side effects, no supply required, no cost involved. Disadvantage: user dependent one, may be difficult to practice. Yes, of course, because doesn't protect the against STDs. Oh, so who can use this this phenomena? Women who are fully breastfeeding, yes, of course, if there's a complete breastfeeding mechanism, okay, whose babies less, okay, the babies, if the child or the baby's age is less than 6 months, so obviously it's a good effective way. So if the baby age is more than 6 months, you can never use this phenomena. Okay, women who are not fully breast mechanism, whose menses have returned, so you can't use. And the last one, there is the coitus interrupts. So coitus interrupts is the withdrawal of the penis just before ejaculation occur. So that sperm doesn't go into the vagina. So obviously, yes, of course, this again depend upon the psyche and the psyche of the person. If the person is too much strong, it will take upon to psyche point of view, and he have the ability just to withdraw the penis. So it's okay because sperm will not go toward the targeted area, but sometimes there may be this is not sometime at level method because there is a pre-ejaculation leakage of the sperms, and there may be chance of the chance of this pregnancy. So these are various methods. So various varied we have discussed today, the condoms and IODs. So a lot these are they have the advantages, and some for the male, some for the female candidates. Yes, this should be inserted and before the sexual intercourse. This is very good methods. And the last one, that is a traditional method. So obviously the person should be properly educated, and that is the properly if you properly educated, so obviously we can achieve the very good result. So different approaches are there, and the last one is the coitus interruptus, that is depend upon the psyche and the person. If the person is too much strong with regarding psyche point of view, have the ability just to remove, to withdraw the penis during sexual intercourse. Yes, of course you can use this phenomena, but sometimes there is a pre-ejaculation leakage of the sperm, so there may be a chances of the pregnancy. So I think as for today it's sufficient, and inshallah in the coming class we will start the next chapter.